Alrighty, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. So sorry about that. So sorry. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Hello. Good afternoon. We're doing some HESI and TEAS practice questions here. How's everyone doing this afternoon? Hello. We'll go ahead and get started here in just a moment. Hello, thanks for liking the live, everybody. I appreciate it. Thanks for sharing the live. Thanks for everything that you guys do. You guys are awesome. And the more that you guys do like the live, the more that it will send it out to people. Hi, Mama Jenkins. How are you doing? Thanks for all the likes, guys. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Welcome in, everybody. Good afternoon. Good. Glad to hear you're doing well. Thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. We're about to start some more HESI and TEAS, anatomy and physiology practice questions here. We'll get started here in just a moment. I'll let some more people join in. I just went live. I was live just like a second ago, but I had to answer a phone call real quick. So, but we are good now. We'll get going here in just a moment or so. But how's everyone doing? How are you guys doing? Welcome in. Welcome to the live. All right, we'll get started here in just a moment. Alrighty. Awesome. All right, we'll go ahead and get going, guys. So anyway, if you're new here, hello. My name is Ollie. I have a master's degree in molecular medicine. I go live pretty much every day for anatomy and physiology. Sometimes it depends on what we're talking about, but it'll be on a certain chapter. But lately, there's a lot of people that have their... This is the beginning of the live, yes. The recordings are on YouTube as well. It's linked in my bio, and then I have study guides on my bio as well. Awesome. Hello, everybody. If you're just joining us, does the TEAS have Anatomy 2 in it? Yes, it does. It has some of the more basic stuff. I legit just left my second exam. Perfect timing. Yes, Jen. Awesome. Perfect timing. I'm glad you could make it. If you are joining us here, welcome. My name is Ollie. I have a master's degree in molecular medicine. I go live pretty much every single day for anatomy and physiology. I do post videos pretty much every single day as well. So glad I found you. I'm taking Bio 23 and I feel like I'm struggling. Oh my gosh, I don't blame you. It's definitely a struggle. I do appreciate all the follows, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for liking the live too. But we'll go ahead and get started here. Again, we're doing some TEAS and HESI review, or just any... Really, this is just good anatomy and physiology practice. It covers ANP1 and ANP2. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Welcome in if you're just joining us. Taking the TEAS on the 28th. So scared. Don't be scared. You got this. Fighting for my life at ANP2. So we're on number 1 now. So go ahead and follow along and feel free to answer some questions and we'll go over them as we go through. But number 1 asks, which directional term describes a body part that is closer to the midline? The answer choice there, as some of you have already been answering, is D. It is medial. Remember that medial, the way that I think of it, medial is like middle, so it's closer to the midline. People get it confused with lateral, but lateral would mean away, farther from the midline. The way that I think of it is in L, the L points out, so I think of lateral. That's the way I always thought of that. Proximal typically means closer to a point. Distal normally means farther away from. Oh my god, my practical coming up. Good luck on your practical. Number 2, the body system responsible for transporting nutrients, gases, and waste. Great, remember. Awesome, yes. Proximal, a good way to remember that, like proximity. Distal is like distance. So the body system that's responsible for transporting nutrients, gases, and waste. This would be the cardiovascular system. So the digestive system, that one is responsible for breaking down food and absorbing the nutrients, but it doesn't necessarily transport them throughout the body. The respiratory system primarily is responsible for the gas exchange, so oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. So it's not necessarily for transporting the gases and nutrients. Nervous system is more so controlling bodily functions, but the cardiovascular system uses the heart and the blood vessels to transport oxygen, nutrients, and waste throughout the body. So hopefully that helped a little bit. But what number 3 now, which type of feedback is responsible for amplifying a response until a specific goal is reached? Let me catch up here on some of... New here, how often do I go live? These are great. I go live pretty much every day. So, pretty much every day. So, let's think about... So, we have our... Let's go over feedback loops here. So, the answer... Let's go over. So, here. Which feedback loop is responsible for amplifying a response, which means to increase? So, we don't really have neutral feedback, and homeostatic feedback is the negative or positive. So, a negative feedback acts in the opposite direction. So, the opposite direction. So, I always draw arrows next to these. Positive feedback is in the same direction. So, for example, with a negative feedback system, you start exercising and you increase your body temperature. You sweat to cool off your body temperature. So your body temperature increases and you sweat to decrease your body temperature. For example of a positive feedback is oxytocin. That's what you produce during labor contractions, during birth. So you release oxytocin in response to increase labor contractions. So they're acting in the same direction, so you're amplifying a response, you're promoting it. A negative feedback, you are trying to inhibit that. So that's definitely a way to remember that as well. Thank you for the lightning bolt cherished moments. I appreciate it. See, my AMP1 added so much fluff. Yes, I do get down to the nitty gritty. That's what I have study guides in my bio that are all like nitty gritty, like this is like the important detail. Very organized and stuff. I'm taking the TEAS. Do I need to know neutral? Neutral feedback, no. That's just a fluff term. Really, the difference between negative feedback and positive feedback, and some good examples of those. Thanks for all the follows, guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it, guys. I do go live every day. Also, if you are just joining us, or you join or have to go at all, the live replay of this will be on YouTube afterwards. So if you miss anything, you can just go back and watch it. That's linked in my bio, and then all my study guides for AMP are linked in there. I almost have my AMP1 study guide, like the bundle was up, but I do have some endocrine system questions on here. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Welcome in, everybody. Do I have notes on HESI A2? So, I do have my AMP notes that will definitely be helpful for it. Like, they'll definitely help you. I am currently working on a HESI A2 study guide for anatomy and physiology. That would be specifically for that exam, for that section as well. It's almost done, actually. I've been getting some feedback from people who have taken it and some people who actually, like make the test. So, I should have been here a long time ago. That's all right. And also, if I do, will it done before April? Yeah, it should be. It's almost done. Number 4, the movement across a selectively permeable membrane is called... Took HESI. Awesome. If I do miss your question, feel free to put it in there. Sometimes I miss it. I promise I'm not trying to ignore you. But we're on number 4 now. I read the HESI study guide and everything in that book was not on the test. That is not good. Everything in that book on AMP was not on the test. That's not good. That's insane. I'm sorry. The answer was positive feedback. I'm sorry. Answer was positive feedback because we're amplifying a response. So for number 4 here, the movement of water. Anytime we're really talking about water when it comes to movement across a membrane, we're referring to osmosis, which is B. So osmosis is diffusion of water across a selectively permeable membrane, which means selectively permeable means it only lets something in or out. And then osmosis, just in case you might have to know, osmosis is from an area of low concentration to an area of high concentration. Alrighty, moving on to number 5, what structure separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity? What structure separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity. So the difference between osmosis and diffusion. Diffusion refers to the movement of molecules, not water, from an area, and this would be of molecules, and this is from high to low concentration. So it differs in terms of what's being transported in terms of molecules. So it diffuses molecules, and it's from a high concentration to a low concentration. Active transport would require energy in the form of ATP. That would move against its concentration gradient. Infiltration is due to like a pressure difference, like something like that would be like in the kidneys. Oh my god, you made me understand diffusion in 2 seconds. I try. I'm glad. It's okay if you get any of these wrong. Guys, are these test lines, they're going to be on my website soon. I'm making it so that it's going to be very easy for you guys to download all of these tests that I do a test, like new tests, like every day. I make these. I have dozens and dozens of practice tests for anatomy and physiology and HESI and stuff. I will have a big announcement when that's done, but it'll be super easy for you guys to go in. It'll have a date when we did this. It'll be everything like that. But real quick, the answer to number 5 is the diaphragm. So the structure that separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity. So our thoracic cavity is going to have like our lungs and heart, and then our abdominal cavity is going to have all the digestive system organs. So we'll move on here. Next up, the bodily system here that we'll cover for the TEAS and HESI for anatomy and physiology is the skeletal system. A big thing you want to know for this one are which bones are a part of the axial and appendicular skeleton, which leads us to question 6, which is going to ask, which of the following bones is part of the axial skeleton? That's definitely a big thing that you want to know for that. If you just joined and you missed a question, the replay is going to be on YouTube afterwards. So if you're just joining us, welcome in. My name is Ollie. I do have a master's degree in molecular medicine, and I've been tutoring and teaching anatomy and physiology for about 5 years now. But the live replay of these are always on YouTube. You guys can go back and watch them at your leisures. And then I do post some... Why we need someone to make a TikTok? Yeah, proctored exams. Yes. My YouTube name is... It's linked in my bio, but it's my name. It's Ollie. And then... Here. I'll actually probably write this a little bigger. So the replay... on YouTube. And then I do have study guides for A&P on my website that you can download. Those are also linked in my bio. Or it's on, if you just want to look up MedZig, it's on there. The TEAS and HESI study guide will be up soon as well. But number 6, which of the following bones is part of the axial skeleton? The answer to that one is the sternum. It is the sternum, C. The femur is part of the lower limb for the appendicular skeleton. The clavicle is part of the appendicular skeleton. It's part of the upper limbs. Scapula is also part of that as well. So it's like your head and your skull, your vertebrae, and your ribs are all part of the axial skeleton. And the rest of the body, all your extremities, are the appendicular. So hopefully that helped a little bit. But we'll move on to number 7. What is the term for the formation of new bone tissue? What is the term for the formation of new bone tissue? Let me look at some of your questions here and some of the chats. I take mine May 1st, and I'm so nervous for bio. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep adding more different topics from the HESI on there, like bio and chem and stuff. Do I have anything for A&P Part 2? Yes, I have a bundle of all of my notes for that. The bundle for A&P 1 will be up shortly. My professor skipped over some topics. Do I have any vids on bones? Yes, I do. I do have a couple skeletal system questions on TikTok in terms of how to remember bones. It's not too far away. Osteo does mean bone, yes. And then I also have some skeletal system practice questions on YouTube as well. I'm going to be stuck on your YouTube. For sure. Awesome. I'm glad. Anything for kinesiology and pathology? I've been working on it. I did my undergraduate degree was in kinesiology and biomedical sciences. And then my master's was in molecular medicine, so I did pathology as well with medical school classes. So those will all be up soon as well. But number 7 is B, it's ossification. So ossification is the process of bone formation. This is typically occurring during our fetal development, growth, and when you heal fractures. Osteolysis, lysis means to cut. So you would not be forming new bone tissue if you were cutting it. Calcification refers to depositing calcium. And then resorption is the process of breaking down bone to release minerals. Alrighty, hopefully we're all good there. Awesome. Number 8, the spinal cord is protected by which type of bone? Which type of bone? Give you guys a couple seconds. Resorption is the process of taking and breaking down something and releasing it into the blood, making sure it's released into the bloodstream to be used elsewhere in the body. So you're reabsorbing it. So number 8 is D. It is an irregular bone because doesn't necessarily have a long feature or a short one or a flat one, but they are typically deemed irregular bones. Number 9, what type of joint allows for the greatest range of motion? What type of bone allows for the greatest range of motion? Awesome, there's 500 of you in here now. Awesome, welcome in everybody, welcome. I'm so glad you're joining us. If you're just joining us, welcome in and you're new here. My name is Ollie. I have a master's degree in molecular medicine and I go live every single day covering anatomy and physiology topics and any of the exams that are going to do with anatomy and physiology. Like today we're covering HESI and TEAS anatomy and physiology topics. But number 9, the answer choice here is B. So a ball and socket joint, kind of like your shoulder and your hips, they allow movement in multiple directions, basically making them the most flexible joint of the body. Hinge joints are necessarily because of your knee and elbow. So if you think of your knee, you don't really want that being inverted or everted. Pivot joint, that's your atlas of your neck. They allow for mostly rotational movement, not necessarily a full range of motion. And then a saddle joint, which is kind of like your thumb. They allow more motion, but there's still a little less than ball and socket joints. But again, your ball and socket joint is your shoulder and hip, and they can move in multiple different directions, which gives them the greatest range of motion because of the flexibility at those joints. And then number 10 asks, the patella is an example of which type of bone? Yes, we are covering digestive system today. I love this. I'm a Pilates instructor, so this was a nice little quiz for me. Awesome. I wish I could get into Pilates. It's expensive around here. I just can't afford it right now. I definitely want to, though. When are you going to do muscle? It's coming up. I'm covering all the systems. I'm covering all the systems a little bit, so everything will get covered today. So muscular system is a little bit, and it should be just in a couple questions. Do I have anything for exercise physiology 2? Yes, I do. Send me an email. It's on my website. I'm close to posting that as well. I have a lot of classes that I've been posting all of my study guides for. Try ClassPass. That's how I afford my Pilates class. Oh, okay. Is there somewhere I can find the same question to study? I'm on AMP1. Anything for kinesiology? Yes, I do have stuff for kinesiology. It's not posted right now. But if there's anything you want to see here, I've just been going through and making sure I can actually post them online. But send me an email. It's medzig.ollie@gmail.com on anything that you would like to see. But number 10, the patella is a sesamoid bone. Patella is a sesamoid bone. Yes, it is possible. The replay is on YouTube. The link to that is in my bio. All right, moving on here. I'm going to copy some of this stuff so that... But now we're moving on to the muscular system. And if you're just joining us, welcome in. My name is Ollie. I do go over anatomy and physiology every day. I do lives, I do videos. Sesamoid bones are like they're small round bones that are embedded in tendons. So the patella is a big example. They function to reduce friction and enhance the joint movement. So the patella is definitely a big help when it comes to just tendon attachment in your knee and helping reduce a little bit of friction there as well, since there is a lot of movement at your knee. Number 11, which type of muscle tissue is found in the walls of blood vessels? Hey, just don't worry, can I get these questions? They're going to be on my website soon enough. I'm going to have a way for everybody to download these soon, and there will be a big announcement here on TikTok when that is done. But if you are just joining, welcome in. Welcome in. Thanks for joining. I do appreciate you guys joining, and I appreciate all the follows, guys. You guys are awesome, and all the likes on the lives. You guys are incredible, and I love you guys. You guys make this so fun. You're such a help. Thank you. I'm so glad. You guys are such a help as well. But number 11 is smooth muscle. So it's a big thing that you want to know. You want to know the differences between skeletal, smooth, and cardiac muscle. Voluntary is skeletal muscle. But skeletal muscle, it's voluntary and allows for movements. It's also striated, meaning banded. Smooth is involuntary and not banded. And then cardiac is only found in the heart, and that is involuntary, and it is banded as well, or striated. Number 12 asks, what is the main function of tendons? What is the main function of tendons? Is mayonnaise an instrument? Oh, hey, Ethan. I would consider mayonnaise an instrument. You've been so helpful. I really appreciate you as well. I appreciate that. I'm glad that I am helpful. I definitely try to be. So, the answer choice here is B, connect muscle to bone. Number 13, which type of muscle contraction occurs without movement of the joint? We can go over the different types of the muscle contractions here in just a moment. But I'll let you guys answer that question real quick here. Awesome. The answer is B. It is isometric. So isotonic are going to be muscle, is when the muscle changes length and it produces movement. So isometric holds. Think about if I'm standing here and I'm just holding this pencil still. That is an isometric movement. Whenever I change the length and I produce movement of this, that's an isotonic movement. We are changing the length of the muscle and we're producing a movement. The eccentric is when the muscle is lengthening while contraction, so you would be lowering a weight. So every time I lower the pen, it is an eccentric isotonic movement, and then whenever I lift the pen, the muscle is shortening while it's contracting, so it is a concentric isotonic movement. So hopefully that helped explain the differences between those. I know a lot of people get those messed up, so hopefully that helped a little bit. Moving on to number 14 here. What is the role of myosin in muscle contraction? What is the role of myosin? I almost have my TEAS study guide available. I do have notes. I do have notes available on my website for you to download. It's linked in my bio on my TikTok here. Thanks for all the follows, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Please explain 13 again. Yeah, I'll explain that real quick, and then I will give the answer. So again, an isometric movement is whenever you are putting tension in a muscle. So if I have my hand here and I am just holding the pen still, that is an isometric movement. It generates tension without changing the length of the muscle. Whenever I move, I'm changing the length of my muscle. An isotonic means that you change length and produce movement. So this would be an isotonic movement. Eccentric is when you lower the weight. So you lengthen and contract. So it's eccentric is an isotonic movement, but it's on the downward, so you lower weight. Concentric is when you contract and shorten the muscle, so you lift up on the pen, lifting the pen up. Hopefully that helped. Number 14, Myosin is what and the answer choice here is C. It forms cross bridges with actin. So myosin has heads, and they attach to the actin active sites, and it pulls it towards the center of the sarcomere, and that's what causes a muscle contraction. But that whole thing is a long process again. Awesome, everybody. You guys are killing it. Number 15, which ion is necessary for muscle contraction? Which ion is necessary for muscle contraction? This is what gets released by the sarcoplasmic reticulum. I do have a couple videos on how to study on my TikTok, and then I am making a video on on YouTube soon on how to like take notes and stuff. But anyway, here it is calcium. Calcium binds to troponin, which lets tropomyosin move out of the way so that the myosin heads can bind to actin, pulling to the center of the sarcomere, contracting the muscle, leading to our muscle contraction. Calcium is released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum as well. Thanks for all the follows, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to move on here to some nervous system questions, and then we do have some other questions along as well. The replay of this, if you're just joining us, or if you've missed anything, or if you have to go, the replay will be on YouTube later today. And then all my study guides for anatomy and physiology are on my website, MedZay, or go to the link in my bio. They are all there for you to download. I do have questions for HESI. Me too. So these are the questions for the anatomy and physiology portion. Do I do gross anatomy? Yes, I do. Send me an email as well if there's anything that you want to see. But if you are just joining, my name is Ollie. I go live every single day for anatomy and physiology. We're going to move on to the nervous system question here. Do I do biomechanics? I do, yes. I do biomechanics. I for sure failed my AMP2 final. No, hopefully you didn't. Hopefully you did not. What time? It kind of depends. Most of the time I go live around these actual questions. They're similar to the questions on the test. Yes, they kind of test along the same topics. But number 16, the basic functional unit of the nervous system is a neuron. It's a neuron. The neuroglia are the types of cells that protect neurons. They don't really necessarily transmit signals, though. The synapse is where the signals are transmitted, and the axon is part of a neuron, so it's not the entire unit. So a basic functional unit is the smallest structure that allows for the function in a system. Number 17, which part of the brain controls balance and coordination? What part of the brain controls balance and coordination? Yes, I do tutor privately, yes. Thank you for doing this. I'm about to schedule my appointment to take my HESI test. This is such a help. I'm so glad. Do I make practice tests online? Yes, I do. They are almost available on my website. I'm making it so that they are very easily downloadable for people. There will be a very big announcement on my TikTok, so definitely stay tuned for that. Please do biomechanics. Yes, I will be doing biomechanics soon, yes. I do have, actually, biomechanics was my second favorite class in college. Anatomy and physiology was my first. I do have lots of notes for biomechanics that I will be uploading very soon for people to download. But number 17, which part of the brain controls balance and coordination? That is the cerebellum. Is answer choice B. The cerebrum, that one was what necessarily controls like higher brain functioning, so like your thought and like reasoning. The medulla oblongata is your regulation of your vital functions, like heart rate, breathing. And then the hypothalamus controls your hormones. It's the master regulator. Controls hormones and homeostasis, because hormones have a lot to do with a lot of your homeostatic functions. Did I take forensic anthropology? I did my nursing path and it was amazing. I don't think I did not. Is there a link? Yes, it's on my website to schedule an appointment. You can also send me an email as well if you want to talk to me about but I do anatomy and physiology tutoring. I took anthropology classes, but I did not take forensic anthropology. I do. Awesome, awesome. Alrighty, moving on. Thanks for the rose, I appreciate it. But yeah, if you want to get tutoring, send me an email. It's listed on my website, but it is medzeg.ollie. Or there's a form you can fill out if you want to ask me some questions before you schedule tutoring. But it is available on my website. Number 18, what is the primary function of the myelin sheath? What is the primary function of the myelin sheath? Or that the myelin sheath here is what is going to, let's think about this. We have our cell body and then our dendrites. And this is a really crappy quick picture of an axon. We have this, and then we have our axon terminal, part of our axon, and then the myelin sheath. So that signal is going to get received by the dendrites, sent throughout it's going to get integrated with the cell body, travel down the myelin sheath to the axon terminal to get to the tissue where it needs to go. But it is going to make this faster, so it is going to speed up nerve impulses. It's going to speed up nerve impulses. It does cover the axon, yes. It does not function for transmitting neurotransmitters. That's more so at the synapse. And then electrical energy is only transmitted, not really stored for nerve impulses. And then cerebral spinal fluid is produced by the choroid plexus. So not the myelin sheath. But number 19, I said number really weird. That's strange. Sorry about that. Number 19, which neurotransmitter is associated with the fight or flight response? And our sympathetic, remember, our fight or flight response is our sympathetic nervous system. So what neurotransmitter is associated mostly with the sympathetic nervous system? But awesome, guys. It is C. It is norepinephrine. Dopamine is associated with like pleasure and reward. Acetylcholine is more so for muscle movement and a parasympathetic response, so not sympathetic. And then serotonin is like your mood and sleep. That's why those answer choices are wrong. Number 20 asks, which type of neuron carries signals from the body to the central nervous system or the CNS? Give you guys a couple seconds. Yes, dopamine is feelings. More so like pleasure and reward. Serotonin is more like mood. Awesome, guys. Awesome, awesome. You guys are killing it. But it is B. It is a sensory neuron. Sensory neurons transmit information from the body to the central nervous system. Alrighty. Again here, we'll move this down. The replay of this will be on YouTube, and then my study guides are available on my website. Both of those are linked in my bio. And then if you need to, want to talk to me or anything like that, send me an email. It's also on my website. But we're going to move on to some more AMP2 topics here. Starting with the cardiovascular system. Again, here, if you're just joining us, we are going over some anatomy and physiology. It's good for your AMP class for sure. This is more centered around the HESI and TEAS. My study guide for that will be available shortly. But all of my anatomy and physiology chapters are up there, and those will help you as well. But they're very organized. They take away all the fluff and make them into condensed, organized versions of it. They're my exact notes and study guides that I made when I was in the class. But number 21 here, which valve prevents backflow of blood into the left ventricle? So going through our valves, which valve prevents backflow of blood into the left ventricle? This is fun, only taking neuropsychology. Thanks for typing your last name clearly. Yes, my last name is pretty rough here. Sorry, I'll try to write that a little better. My last name is Hungarian, so. All right, anyway. So, number 21. It is the aortic valve. So, the left ventricle is going to pump blood into the aorta. So, our aortic valve is going to prevent that from coming back into there. In terms of the tricuspid and the mitral or the bicuspid, a good mnemonic for that is tri, before you bi. So tricuspid valve before you bicuspid valve. Pulmonary valve is between the pulmonary artery that goes to the lungs. And then the aortic valve is with the aorta where it goes out to the rest of the body. Hopefully that little mnemonic can help you out. Awesome. Thanks for all the follows, guys. You guys are killing it. Will I go over biomechanics later this week, or when do we know which topic you will go over? Send me an email on what topics you'd like to see. Yes, this is recorded. It'll be on YouTube afterwards. Or toilet paper my ass. Yes. Or toilet paper my ass. Yes. Number 22. What is the liquid component of blood called? What is the liquid component of blood called? I gotta take a sip of my drink here real quick. I'm a big fan of Lonnie energy drinks. If anyone else is, it's my favorite. If I could ever get sponsored by anybody, I wish it would be them. But number 22 is B. It is the plasma. Plasma is what contains water. It contains water, electrolytes. It contains proteins, so protein and waste. The hemoglobin is the protein in red blood cells that binds to oxygen. Serum is similar to plasma, but it does not have clotting factors. Plasma has the clotting factors for whenever you get a cut and then you platelets and whatnot. Lymph is the fluid that's in the lymphatic system, so not the blood. I don't see notes in your bio. It should be my website, so Medzeg. Or you could go to Medzeg. Just look up Medzeg and it should come up. This love is awesome, awesome. We run chemistry off serum, so confuse me. Yes, so, serum is without the clotting factor, so it doesn't clot up. That's why. 23. This live is awesome. Awesome, thank you, Plant Daddy. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you think so. Number 23, the contraction phase of the cardiac cycle is known as... Take my state boards. Oh, I have to take my state boards for clinical massage therapy here in Chicago. I'm so nervous. Oh, good luck on that. Good luck on that. You got this. All right, so number 23, it is going to be systole. Systole. So the contraction phase of the cardiac cycle is known as systole. Systole refers to when the heart contracts. So heart contracts. So it pumps blood out. Pumps blood out. Diastole is when the heart relaxes and it fills with blood. Depolarization refers to the electrical activity when that activity triggers the contraction, but it's not the contraction itself. Hyperpolarization is whenever that's an increase in the electrical charge, not really necessarily the contraction. 24, what is the function of platelets? 24, what is the function of platelets? Systole. Systole. I haven't heard anyone pronounce it like that. That's okay. Yes, these are for the TEAS exam. Depolarization refers to the electrical activity that causes contraction. It's not the contraction itself. Number 24. What is the function of platelets? That is to aid in blood clotting. 25. Which blood type is the universal donor? What blood type is the universal donor? Yes, it is O blood, specifically O negative. O negative. That's because it doesn't have the A, B, or Rh antigens on those blood cells. Moving on to the respiratory system. Again, if you're just joining us here, the replay of this will be on YouTube afterwards. And then any questions that you have. Yes. Any questions you have, you can send me an email as well. Thanks for all the follow, guys. I really appreciate it. Number 26, the trachea is also known as... Yeah, so the difference between those two, systole, that is whenever the heart contracts and pumps out blood. Depolarization refers to the activity, the electrical activity that causes the contraction. So depolarization is not the contraction itself, it is what causes the contraction. But 26 is A, it is the windpipe. 27, what is the function of the cilia and the respiratory tract? Some of you guys are already answering that. That is B, it is to trap and move debris. So the function of the cilia and the respiratory tract, they are like the tiny hair-like projections and structures. They trap dust or pathogens or other debris, and they move them out of the respiratory tract. Awesome, guys. Number 28, the right lung has how many lobes? The right lung has how many lobes? So it has 3. Answer choice is 3. It has an upper, middle, and lower. And the left lung has 2 lobes, an upper and lower. 29, what structure serves as the passageway for both air and food? What structure serves as the passageway for both air and food? I'll give you guys a couple seconds. It is the pharynx. The pharynx connects the nasal and oral cavities to the larynx, and also the esophagus. Number 30, during inhalation, the diaphragm, A, B, C, or D, the diaphragm, letter choice A, contracts and moves downward, B, relaxes and moves upward, C, contracts and moves upward, or D, relaxes and moves downward. Give you guys a couple seconds here. So the diaphragm during inhalation it's answer choice A here. It contracts and moves downward. Relaxing and moving upward, that occurs during exhalation. Contracts and moves upward. The diaphragm moves downward during contraction. And then relax and move downward. The diaphragm moves downward during contraction, not relaxation. So contracts and moves downward. Yeah, 30 very gently. So inhalation, our diaphragm contracts and moves downward to increase lung volume and essentially allowing air to enter the lungs. Answer choice B, so whenever it relaxes and moves upwards, that is exhalation, to get air out. C, contracting, moving upward, just incorrect because it moves downward during contraction, and then relax and moves downward is false because it contracts and moves downward. All right, moving on. Number 31 here. We're on the digestive system. We're going to move to the digestive system chapter now. Number 31 asks, where does protein digestion begin? So if you are just joining us here, my name is Ollie. I do have a master's degree in molecular medicine, and I go live every single day. Does D ever occur? No. Thanks for the finger hearts, Jordan. I appreciate it. You're awesome. Thanks for all the gifts, guys. You guys are incredible. But if you are just joining us here, we are doing some HESI and TEAS anatomy and physiology review. I do appreciate all the follows, guys. Again, here the replay will be on YouTube. Hold on here. The replay will be on YouTube afterwards if you are just joining us or you aren't able to finish the whole thing. But 31, the answer is the stomach. In pepsin, this is where the enzyme pepsin is activated. So pepsin, think of peptide, protein. Mouth, not necessarily. That's more so for the digestion of carbohydrates with amylase. Small intestine, it does have protein digestion, but it's obviously the stomach comes first. And then large intestine, that's necessarily for like water absorption and waste, like limiting waste, not digestion. But 32, what structure prevents acid from refluxing into the esophagus? How many we're up to? I can't see your YouTube. They're linked in my bio. I do 60 questions. I'm doing 60 questions here, and we're covering. We're trying to go through at least a couple questions for each of the chapters through AMP 1 and 2 for the TEAS and HESI. What? This is good notes. It's good notes. Alrighty. So it is the lower esophageal sphincter. It's referred to as the LES, but it's a ring of muscle at the junction between the esophagus and the stomach, and it essentially prevents stomach acid from flowing into the esophagus. 33. Which organ produces bile? Which organ produces bile? Where can I get this multiple choice question? Awesome. Thank you, Jordan, for all the W's. I appreciate it. Jordan, you are awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the W's. Hello, everybody. Welcome in here. Welcome in. If you're just joining us, my name is Ollie. I have a master's degree in molecular medicine. I do go live every single day covering anatomy and physiology topics. I do post videos every day as well for anatomy and physiology. And then I am working on a way for you guys to easily download all these practice tests that I do. I make a new one every single day. So I'm trying to make that a lot easier. But thank you, Jordan. I appreciate you. The answer here is liver. So liver produces bile. And the gallbladder stores the bile. And then I also have all my study guides available on my website. They're linked in my bio or it's on MedSeg. And then if you are just joining us and you missed the questions earlier, you're not able to finish all the questions, the live replay will be on YouTube afterwards. And everything that you would need is linked in my bio and on my website and everything. Number 34, the majority of water absorption occurs in the... We're on number 34 now, guys. Awesome. Thank you. Yes, thank you guys as well. Thank you guys so much. So it is the large intestine. The large intestine is responsible for absorbing water and electrolytes, basically from that remaining indigestible food matter. So the stomach is what as we kind of talked about, that's what digests food and produces acid. The small intestine is where a lot of the absorption of nutrients occurs. And then we talked about the large intestine mainly for water absorption and eliminating the waste, and then the rectum is where we essentially store our waste before we eliminate it. But so it's not really a site for water absorption. Number 35. Which digestive enzyme breaks down fats? What digestive enzyme breaks down fats? Yes, it does absorb the remaining water. Yes. So it absorbs the water and electrolytes from whatever is left out of that indigestible food matter and stuff. The answer here is C, lipase. Again, it's kind of in the name here. ACE always means enzyme. So you can just break down the word there. Amylase for carbs, trypsin for protein, so lipid, fat. So lipase is a enzyme that breaks down fats. Amylase is for carbohydrates, Leah. Amylase is for carbs. But it breaks down like carbs into the simple sugars. It's mostly like amylase is mostly like salivary amylase, so it's like in the salivary glands in your mouth. So it'll start breaking down starches into maltose, like a disaccharide. And then you also have pancreatic amylase. How often do I go live? Every single day. I go live pretty much every day. I go live every day. So trypsin. Trypsin breaks down proteins. So it breaks down proteins into smaller peptides. It's released by the pancreas. Basically, it's secreted from the pancreas by trypsinogen, and then once it gets to the small intestine, trypsinogen is activated into trypsin from enteropeptidase. Alrighty, moving on here. We are on the endocrine system now. I do have about 10 questions or so. Pepsin breaks down peptides, so it digests protein. So we're moving on to the endocrine system now. I have a couple questions here as well. If you're just joining us, we're going over some anatomy and physiology for TEAS and HESI. So we are also my nutrition bond was in 3 hours. Pray for you. Yes, absolutely. I will be praying for you. Good luck. You got this. But if you are just joining us here, we are moving on to the endocrine system. So 36, which hormone regulates blood calcium levels? Never taken this class. I want to guess on the answers. Where can I get these? I will make a announcement when you can get these questions on my website. So there will be a very big announcement for when you can get them. I do create them. I do have a bunch of practice exams. I'm working on a way for everybody to easily download them. I'm working on a way for everyone to easily download them. But number 36 here, the answer is the parathyroid hormone. So parathyroid hormone is responsible for, so it's secreted by the parathyroid glands. And what it does is it regulates blood calcium levels. It increases calcium. So we increase calcium. Basically by promoting, you increase calcium release from bones by stimulating osteoclast activity. So you increase osteoclast, and then you also promote the reabsorption of calcium in the kidneys. Insulin is for blood glucose. Glucagon increases blood glucose, and then melatonin is the sleep-wake cycle. Number 37, which gland produces thyroid-stimulating hormone? Can I repeat again how it works? Yes, so parathyroid hormone is in response to... So the parathyroid gland will release parathyroid hormone in response to low calcium levels, and it wants to increase those calcium levels, and it does so by increasing osteoclast activity. Remember, osteoclasts break down bone or cleave bone, releasing calcium into the bloodstream, and then you also promote the reabsorption of calcium in the kidneys as well to get that back into circulation. But 37... is the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland. There we go. 37 is the pituitary gland. It secretes, produces THS that stimulates the thyroid gland to produce thyroid hormones that regulate metabolism. The thyroid gland, whoever might have gotten that one or got confused with that one, it produces the thyroid hormones T3 and T4. So thyrine and triiothyronine. So that's why that one was B. 38, cortisol is secreted by which gland? I'm literally studying this right now for my test tomorrow. Awesome. Good luck. Is calcitonin released by thyroid or parathyroid? It's released by the thyroid gland, in particular the C cells or the parafollicular cells. But 38 is C. 38 is C. It is the adrenal cortex. Epinephrine is secreted by the adrenal medulla, just to be more converse. But it is a steroid hormone. It helps regulate metabolism, reduce inflammation, and it's a stress hormone. So think of cortisol, stress, and then adrenaline in a way. So that's how I kind of remember that it's in the adrenal cortex. And then cortex, difference between epinephrine and medulla. 39, which hormone is responsible for labor contractions? At the very beginning of the lab today, we kind of talked about that. Which hormone is responsible for labor contractions? So real quick here, a little review of the 3 layers of the adrenal cortex. So you have the zona, it's the glomerulosa. That one is going to function to regulate sodium and potassium. The main hormone there is the aldosterone. The musculata is the middle layer there. So this is the outer, this is the middle. This one does like metabolism, like immunity. This one is more so for cortisol, aldosterone. And then our inner layer is the reticularis, sorry. Reticularis, that main hormone is like androgens, more so weaker ones, and it's more so to function for like secondary sex characteristics. So hopefully that helped. What do you mean co-host? Anyway, so the answer here to 39 though is A, it's oxytocin. It stimulates uterine contractions during labor, but it can also help with milk ejection during breastfeeding as well. Number 40, the pancreas secretes which hormone to raise blood sugar? Differences here, zooming out a bit. Yeah, hold on. I think I have to zoom out. There we go. So number 40 here is, answer choice here is B, glucagon. Glucagon is produced by the pancreas, and this raises blood sugar levels. If you got it confused with insulin lowers blood sugar levels. So if you think about diabetics, after they have to take insulin to help lower their blood sugar and control their blood sugar. Cortisol indirectly raises blood sugar. As a response to stress, you want to release blood sugar for energy for cells to deal with the stress. And aldosterone is more so for like salt and water balance, not like blood sugar. That actually makes sense. Perfect. I'm so glad. Awesome. I'm just checking some of your comments. Thanks for following, everybody. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I should know this. Again, insulin, will this help with NCLEX? Yeah, it should. It has anatomy and physiology on it. So, but insulin is there to lower blood sugar. So thinking about diabetics, they take insulin to help regulate and lower their blood sugar. Awesome, but we're going to move on here. We have a couple more endocrine system questions because I know a lot of people are on that right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. If you're just joining us, thanks for following, everybody. Haven't even started AMP. Just found this fascinating. Awesome. How do I get this every day? I'm going to make a section on my website that's easy for these to download. But again, if you're just, Ollie, thank you for helping me get an A on my lecture exam, lab exam. Awesome. I'm glad I was able to help. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm trying to try and save your comment. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Thank you for letting me know that. I appreciate that. Yes, I love this so much. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thanks for all the follows, guys. I appreciate it. There's a lot of you in here now, but if you're just joining us, my name is Ollie. I have a master's degree in molecular medicine, and I go live every day, and I post every day for anatomy and physiology. I do love anatomy and physiology. I've been tutoring and teaching it for 5 years, so... any helpful resources? I do have some helpful study guides that I used in the class. So all my study guides that I used to get an A, I got 100% on my finals as well. Those are all in my bio. They're all on my website on MedZeg, and the live replays are on YouTube as well. If you are just joining or you missed anything or you can't stay for the whole thing, that's okay. It's going to be on YouTube afterwards. So put this in here real quick, just so if people ask again. And then we will move on here. Number 41 asks, which hormone is responsible for increasing blood calcium levels? Increasing blood calcium levels. Let me see. My final is tomorrow, so let's see how it goes. Good luck, Chowder. You got this. She's about 41. Yes, we'll go over that in a second. I'm studying paramedic, and this is so helpful. Awesome. Good luck in studying for your paramedics. I'm glad this is helpful. I'm going to be back when I start nursing school. Oh my gosh, when do you start nursing school? In A&P, I'm studying midwifery. I'm so nervous for my exam. Don't be nervous. You got this. Just work hard. Yeah, I'm retaking A&P 1 to the summer. Oh, good luck. A&P 1 over the summer is definitely a big undertaking. Retaking because it's been 7 years. I have an exam tomorrow. Good luck on your exam tomorrow in neurophysiology. Is this good for medical assistants? Yes. Yes, it will be. How many questions? 60. It is, oh, I'm sorry, it's an H. It's an H. But it is also linked in my bio as well. But anyway, we'll move on to number 41 now. So number 41, it is parathyroid hormone. We kind of covered this a little bit earlier. So parathyroid hormone is released in response to low blood calcium levels. That stimulates the parathyroid gland to release parathyroid hormone to increase calcium levels. It does so by stimulating osteoclast activity. Again, osteoclast break down bone or cleave bone or chew bone. And then it also increases the reabsorption in the kidneys. And the hormone that is opposite of that is calcitonin. So calcitonin decreases blood calcium levels it will decrease activity of osteoclasts. But hello, everybody. Thanks for joining and welcome in. There's so many of you in here now. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I really appreciate you guys being here. Move on to number 42. The adrenal cortex produces which hormone that helps regulate metabolism and the immune response? Where did I find this practice exam? I made this myself. Oh my god, I love the endocrine system. Yes, the endocrine system is my favorite as well. Is there one for digestive system? Yes, it'll be up. We're going to go over some digestive system in just a little bit. I do have some more on my YouTube, though, as well. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. May, thank you so much for the roses. Yes, calcitonin acts in the opposition of parathyroid hormone. Give me 1 second. TikTok is gonna make me do the silly thing where I have to declare that I am not inactive, even though that we have all been super active this whole time. Awesome. So calcitonin is going to act in opposite of parathyroid hormone. It is going to be in response to high calcium levels in the blood, and it is going to decrease. So think of the parathyroid hormone, it just acts in opposite of it. So it decreases osteoclast activity, response to increase calcium levels, to lower it by decreasing osteoclast activity and decreasing reabsorption. Number 42. The adrenal cortex produces which hormone that helps regulate metabolism and the immune response? It's going to be cortisol. Cortisol is produced by the adrenal cortex, and it is responsible for regulating metabolism, immune responses, and stress. Basically, it helps with metabolism as it helps break down fats, proteins, and carbohydrates to provide energy remember, it's our stress hormone. So it is going to break down like proteins, more so in terms of carbs. So it's our stress hormone. And it's going to release carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and create energy to deal with that stress. So energy to deal with that stress. So hopefully that helped and made sense. Epinephrine comes from the medulla. So epinephrine is produced for the adrenal medulla, and it's involved in the fight or flight response. 43 here. Which gland regulates metabolism and requires iodine to function properly? Okay, thank you. Awesome. Thanks for all the follows, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Yes, it is the thyroid gland. It produces T3 and T4 and does require iodine. If there is a decrease in iodine or a deficiency in iodine, it will lead to a goiter. But the hormones thyroxine, T4, requires iodine for the synthesis, as well as T3, which is triiodothyronine. But number 44, the hormone that stimulates uterine contractions during childbirth. We had another similar question of that one. I'll give you guys that because we kind of talked about it. It's oxytocin. So it stimulates uterine contractions during childbirth. Number 45, which endocrine gland is responsible for the body's stress response? Kind of been talking about this one a little bit. Thanks for all the likes, guys. We've just hit 10K likes. You guys are awesome. Freaking love anatomy. I love anatomy as well. It's my favorite. It was my favorite class. But it is the adrenal gland above the kidneys. Moving on now, we are on the urinary system. What do we have less? We have urinary and then reproductive and then lymphatics left. So we're moving on to the urinary system now. If you're just joining us here, we are doing some TEAS and HESI anatomy and physiology review, although this is good review for anything that requires you to know anything about anatomy and physiology. The live replay of this, if you've missed anything or can't make the whole thing, will be on YouTube afterwards. This is my YouTube. And then all my study guides are on my website. And all the notes that I took for anatomy and physiology, those are all linked in my bio as well. Number 46, the renal medulla is responsible for... Again, I'll go back real quick for a couple seconds. But again, the replay is going to be on YouTube for you to screenshot as well. Sweet. Awesome. Thanks for all the follows, guys. I appreciate it. I do appreciate you guys following and liking the live. You guys are awesome. You guys make this so much fun to do. I really appreciate you guys a lot. But again, here we're moving on to the urinary system. Number 46, the renal medulla is responsible for concentrating urine. D. So the renal medulla contains the loops of Henle and the collecting ducts. Those are what are responsible for concentrating urine by reabsorbing water. And so producing red blood cells, that's in the bone marrow. Filtering blood occurs in the glomerulus of the kidney and the renal cortex, not the medulla. And then maintaining blood pH is maintained by the kidney's ability to excrete hydrogen ions. So it's not just a medulla or whatever. But moving on to let me make sure. Anatomy is such a broad subject. I don't know what to focus on. Can you send me these questions? They will eventually be on my website for you to download. They're not up yet. Really, when it comes to anatomy, focusing on them is the function of every system. So every system has functions that has to carry out. And the way in which those functions are carried is really what you want to focus on. So what contributes to the function of those systems? That's definitely a good way to do it. I have my final today. When will they be uploaded? Pretty shortly. I'll make a big announcement here on TikTok and stuff. Thanks for following, everybody. With 47. What is the tube that carries urine from the bladder to the outside of the body? That is going to be the urethra. The ureter is what carries urine from the kidneys to the bladder, not from the bladder to the outside. Some people get that messed up a lot. The glomerulus is number 48. The glomerulus is a network of what? But if you want these questions, I will make a huge announcement on. So my website name is Medzeg up here. So guys, up here. Again, everything is linked in my bio. Just go to the links in my bio. They will all be, everything that you will need will be there. That's up, and everything in the future will be there as well. But I'll make a huge announcement on TikTok when you can download every single practice test I've made. I have a bunch. I have dozens. So I'm making it an easier way for me to send to people when organized from the lives and whatnot. But it is a network of capillaries, B. Awesome. It is the part of the nephron responsible for like filtration in blood to form urine and stuff. Number 49, which of the following is not normally found in urine? What is not normally found? Again, it is not normally. It can, but it's abnormal, which typically shows pathology. I wish my exam. Yeah. What is the difference between urethra and ureter? So again, the urethra is from the bladder to the outside, and the ureter is the structure. It's the tube between the kidney to the bladder. That's more internal. Yeah, my website's free. You can go to my website. Everything that you would need. My website itself is free. Number 49. What is not normally found? It is glucose. So glucose is not normally found. But whenever the blood glucose levels are normal, the kidneys will just reabsorb it. But if blood sugar is too high, glucose appears in urine, and that's what's seen in diabetes. So diabetics may often have glucose in their urine, and it's a good way to see if they have diabetes. So urea is a waste product. Urea is a waste product of protein metabolism. Protein metabolism, waste product. Hopefully that's good before I move on. 50, the hormone that regulates red blood cell production in response to oxygen levels is the hormone that regulates red blood cell production in response to oxygen levels is. Give you guys a couple seconds. But it is B, erythropoietin. It's produced in the kidneys in response to low oxygen levels. And basically, this is what stimulates bone marrow to produce more or increase red blood cells. Put RBCs. I'm a pharmacist and I know all this. Awesome, yes. I actually worked as a pharmacy technician. So I'm very familiar. I've worked as a pharmacy technician for 4.5 years. So I have a lot of respect for pharmacists. NP is so hard for this. So this is helpful. I'm glad this is helpful. Making sure I don't miss any questions before I get going here. I'm moving on to the reproductive system questions. Thank you, sir. Yeah, no problem. Oh my god, yes, the pharmacist. Thanks, sir. But again here, so I got a couple more questions here for us. But again, if you're just joining us or you're not able to stay for the whole thing, the live replay is on YouTube. And then all of my study guides are on my website. It's linked in my bio. Again, all my study guides are linked in my bio. They're on my website, Medzeg. You can just look that up as well. Thanks for the ice creams. Oh, Olivia, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, thank you. How many? I'm doing 60. Depends on. Let me see. Who's being rude? Who said something? Sorry if I miss questions. I might miss stuff, so I'm sorry. Thank you for your time. This is great. I'll be doing 60 questions, taking my TEAS on April 26th. I just saw your live. Awesome. I will have a TEAS and HESI anatomy and physiology specific study guide up soon. Yeah, there's a couple prereqs for it as well. But again, all of my, what time do I go live? Typically, I go live most of the time. It changes sometimes, but 11:30 a.m. to noon, I'll start. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes it's different, though, but I try to go live every day. The prices vary depending on the chapter. Thank you, sweet. I love your pace. Thank you. Again, we'll move on to the reproductive system here. I don't have the NCLEX study guides yet, so I'm sorry. I can definitely let you guys know whenever that is up. Please start on this. I need it for today. Awesome. All right, so let's get started here. So again, number 51, where does sperm maturation occur? So where does the sperm mature? So where does sperm mature? But again, if you just missed anything, it will be on my YouTube afterwards. The live replay will be. You said 11:30, not today. Yeah, so sorry. Sometimes not. I don't always go live at that time, but most of the, I got it generally most of the time. For the TEAS study guide, I do not have it yet. It will be up. I will have a very large announcement on my TikTok when it is up. Same with the way for you to download all these questions. So definitely on TikTok, I'll post a couple videos. So I'll try to make sure no one misses it, and I'll definitely let people know in the live. But number 51 here is the epididymis. So this is where the sperm matures. So this is where they gain the ability to swim and become motile. The vas deferens is the tube that transports the sperm from the epididymis to the urethra. So it's not necessarily in a role in, when they mature. The seminiferous tubules, this is where sperm are produced. So this is where spermatogenesis occurs. Excuse me. I had a hiccup. Sorry about that. And the prostate gland is what contributes to the formation of the seminal fluid, but not necessarily in it maturing. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully that made sense. But 52, the menstrual cycle is regulated by which two main hormones? Are these questions based on the version 7Ts? Yes, they're similar to questions for it. They are similar to. They're not the exact ones because I'm not allowed to do that, but they're similar to them. Awesome, guys. It is B. It is estrogen and progesterone. They control the growth and shedding of the uterine lining and the timing of ovulation. Moving on, make sure there's no questions here. 53, the structure that provides nutrients and oxygen to a developing fetus is the male reproductive, 53. The structure that provides nutrients and oxygen to a developing fetus is the, awesome, it is B, it is the placenta. The fallopian tube is what transports the egg from the ovary to the uterus. The uterus is where the fetus develops, and the cervix is the lower part of the uterus. That's what opens up during labor. So the placenta is where it's the organ that provides nutrients, oxygen, waste exchange between the mother and the developing fetus. Heard mothers can eat the placenta? I've heard something about that. It's nuts, yeah, but I've definitely heard something about that. I think I've kind of tuned that out because it's like, I don't know, you know, but It's true. I heard mothers can eat. Yeah, I definitely don't see why it would be harmful for you to eat it, but to each their own. That's a definitely a to each their own kind of the topic. Can I explain 53 again? Absolutely. So the question asks, what the structure that provides nutrients and oxygen to a developed fetus? That's the placenta. So that is the exchange of nutrients between the mother and the fetus. It's the organ that allows the mother to provide the nutrients to her developing fetus when she's pregnant. The fallopian tube, it is the tube that transports the egg from the ovary to the uterus. The uterus is where the fetus develops. The cervix is the lower part of the uterus, which opens during labor. We'll move on here to 54. The male reproductive gland that produces an alkaline fluid to nourish sperm is called... Thanks. To each their own, but I know I wouldn't. Yes. To replace iron levels, yes. Did I just stumble upon a new class? Hopefully you did. Yes, it's free to enroll here. It's on TikTok. It's free. So, hopefully. But I do go live every single day. Or I do post a video every day. So. Number 54. The male reproductive gland that produces an alkaline fluid as the seminal vesicle, C. Let me explain this one real quick. So the seminal vesicle is what produces the alkaline fluid that nourishes sperm. It helps neutralize the acidity from the vaginal tract, which helps create a little bit of a more favorable environment for sperm to exist. The prostate gland does produce a slight alkaline fluid, but that it's more so a secondary role to the seminal vesicles. Hopefully that made sense. What time do I usually go live? So again, usually, not always, but usually like 11:30 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. Not always. Like today I was a little late just because I got busy with work. But yes, the seminal vesicles and glands refer to the same thing. Yes. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the follows, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much. Number 55 here. What is the primary function of the testes? 55 here. What is the primary function of the testes? But again, that time that I go live kind of varies. But normally, typically, 11:30 a.m. to noon is when I start. And then it'll go for probably about like an hour to 2 hours normally. I normally don't go above 2 hours. You should seriously consider teaching. Thank you, Sabrina. I'm trying. I've been applying for some lecturer/professor jobs. But I'm also applying for a PhD program. But unfortunately, a lot of research has been getting cut from funding. So that has hurt that opportunity for me. So I've been looking at more so getting into teaching for at least now. But I've been applying. But if, your school or university has some job openings and you can hook a guy up, my email is medzig.ollie@gmail.com. Oh my god, come to my school. I'll come to your school, no problem. It's in Virginia. I'm in Virginia. If it's remote though, I can do remote too though. But in Virginia, normally I can go anywhere in Virginia. It doesn't matter. 55 though. Let's go over that one. It is to produce sperm and testosterone. Letter choice A. Produce sperm and testosterone. The testes produce sperm through spermatogenesis and testosterone. And that testosterone is what's basically really critical for developing our male sex stuff and sperm production. The testes do help regulate temperature a little bit in the scrotum, because they contract and relax. Basically making sure that there's optimal sperm production, but the primary function obviously is producing sperm and testosterone. Storing mature sperm, that's stored in the epididymis, not the testes. And then transporting sperm to the urethra, that's the function of the vas deferens. So last couple questions here, and I actually forgot to put a little space in between them, so I'm sorry they're a little more condensed. 53. I explained it a couple times here. I'll go over it real quick. But the structure that provides nutrients and the oxygen to a developing fetus is the placenta. That's the structure and organ that allows for a mother to provide nutrients for her fetus. 54. Yeah, so the 54 was the seminal vesicle. So the male reproductive gland that produces alkaline fluid to nourish the sperm is the seminal vesicle. The alkaline fluid is what helps neutralize the acidity of the vaginal tract, which helps create a little bit of a better environment for those sperm to fertilize an egg. And the other answer that can get confusing with that one is the prostate gland, because the prostate gland, yes, it does produce a fluid that is slightly alkaline, but the seminal vesicle is obviously more alkaline. But the prostate gland is a secondary role in that. But here we're moving on. Let me add these here. I'll put this down here just because there's more room. The replay of this will be on YouTube. These are the last couple questions here. But the replay, if you've missed or just joining, will be on YouTube later today. And then all my study guides and notes that I had while I was in A&P are on my website, or Medzeg. You can just look up on Google. But both of these are linked in my bio here on TikTok to help you find it a little easier. And I do go live every single day. I do appreciate all the follows. Oh my god, it's been forever since I've seen your account. I'm so happy I found you again. I'm so happy you found me again, Loon. I appreciate it. I'm actually in AP2 right now. AP2 is rough. AP2 is pretty fun. Appreciate the follows, guys. Yes, thank you, of course. Of course, thank you as well. Number 56 here. We'll get on with these questions. But what type of white blood cell is responsible for antibody production? So let you guys answer that one. What type of white blood cell is primarily responsible for antibody production? I'll give you guys a couple seconds. So a neutrophil is more so they function in phagocytosis. So not antibody production. The answer is B cell. And a good way to remember this, B antibody. Body has a B in it. So body B cell. T cells are killer cells. So they're more so responsible for killing infected cells and coordinating the immune response, but they don't produce antibodies. And then macrophages are also involved in phagocytosis and antigen presentation, but not producing antibodies. All right, make sure. Definitely knew that. Gotcha. Perfect. 57. From a nurse. I do not miss A&P. It's okay if you don't miss it. I love A&P, though. I actually kind of miss it a little bit sometimes. Sometimes. Not all the time. It definitely kept me busy. I was a busy guy when I was taking it. Number 57, the body's first line of defense against pathogens includes... Again, this is referring to the first line of defense. First line. The very first line. Awesome. It is B. It is the skin and the mucous membrane. So your body here, when you come into contact with a pathogen, ends up on your skin, or you breathe it in through your nose or mouth, and it gets caught in mucous membrane, cough or sneezed out. The skin, you wash it off. This is why you wash your hands and why you shower and bathe, and all the things that you should do so you're not a stinky person. But a lot of people get that confused. It's definitely like a common sense kind of answer question, but not something that you would like really think about though, especially when you're learning about like all these different cells and stuff. Have you tried looking into Nova or community colleges? Yes, I've actually been applying to those to teach pretty much all the community colleges in Nova. I'm more trying to move into the Nova area, but again, if you know anybody, my email is. I would definitely prefer to move into a teaching role at a college level. So if you know anybody, it's my email. It's on my website as well. But any level, really, just any college level, community college, like public, private school, don't care. I'd definitely like to move into a teaching role. It's a lot more fun to do than, working. Be such a good teacher. Thank you. I currently do research, but it's getting defunded right now. So that's why right now I'd like to attempt the teaching role there. But anyway, 58 here. The lymphatic system helps maintain fluid balance by... Lymphatic system helps maintain... And I apologize. Let me know if I need to zoom... Do I need to zoom in at all? I know that I made a mistake by not... Normally I separate them, but I forgot to do that for this last question. Do I need to zoom in a little bit for anybody? Just let me know. But 58... the answer choice is C. It returns excess tissue fluid to the bloodstream. Answer choice C. So it collects excess tissue fluid as lymph, and it returns it to the bloodstream to help maintain that fluid balance. The carbon dioxide is removed from the respiratory system. Circulating oxygen is in the circulatory system, and then absorbing amino acids, that's just the digestive system. Yes, zoom in. Okay, perfect. Hopefully, is that better? Hopefully. Or zoom out just a little bit, probably, it looks like. But 59, the spleen is responsible for... Awesome. Perfect, guys. Yep, thank you. Yes, of course. Perfect. Awesome, guys. Thank you guys for letting me know that. The answer choice here is A. It is storing white blood cells and filtering blood. So the spleen stores mostly lymphocytes, and it filters blood basically by removing old or damaged red blood cells and pathogens, and it recycles mainly the iron in blood. Alrighty. Our last question here, 60. Which type of immunity is acquired through vaccines? Yeah, so the spleen, it's going to store white blood cells, mainly lymphocytes, and then it filters blood. So it takes in older, damaged red blood cells, however they get damaged, however they may be, and it'll so you have iron in there that helps hemoglobin bind to oxygen, and it will recycle that iron to you and send it so that it can get produced for a new red blood cell in the bone marrow. Awesome. It is, for number 60, it's active immunity for vaccines. Active immunity, again, remember, that's when the body produces its own antibodies in response to an antigen. So when you receive a vaccine, your body is getting exposed to these antigens, and it starts to produce antibodies to deal with it. Innate immunity is the body's natural defense. Passive refers to being transferred, so breast milk or an antibody injection. So if you were to inject antibodies, or an autoimmune response refers to when the immune system attacks itself by mistake. Can I explain 58? So 58 is the lymphatic system. It maintains fluid balance by returning fluid back to the bloodstream. So it collects lymph and it returns it to the bloodstream, and it also collects fluid at the capillary bed as well. But carbon dioxide is removed from the respiratory system, oxygen is transported in the circulatory system, and then amino acids are absorbed in the digestive system. Is this for ANP2? Yes, it's for ANP1 and 2. If you're just joining us here, I did go over ANP1 and 2. And the replay of it will be on YouTube afterwards. Where were you when I needed this last semester? I'm sorry. I wasn't going live last semester. I was posting videos and whatnot, but I was not going live. But that was the end of my little live here, guys. I do appreciate you guys for joining. What time for tomorrow? Somewhere between 11 to 11:30 to noon, most likely. If that does... Is this for TEAS? Yes, this was for TEAS. No, it'll go. I do have to go. I'm sorry, guys. I do have to. I will be back. You're the best. You're the best. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. For everyone that's saying thank you, I always remind you to study. I'm glad. I have my midterm next week. I'm following you and subscribing to your YouTube. Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys. Again, my YouTube and website with everything is on my... It's linked in my bio. And then my email is there as well if you guys have any questions for me or anything like that. So... anything you guys need, email me or DMs. What is the name of my YouTube? It's just my name here. Well, I heard sick. Or it's linked in my bio. You're awesome. I hope you always know that. Thank you. I hope you are awesome. How do I study? I need some help to retain info. Yeah, so I'll go over that in just a second here. I can definitely tell you how I study. But anyway, here just real quick before I explain how to study. If you want to know how I study, stick around here for just a couple seconds. Again, my name on YouTube is just my name. It's linked in my bio as well. My name is kind of hard to say. You probably won't be able to spell it from there. It's complicated. But just go to the link in my bio, and my YouTube is there, and my website is there, and that has everything linked. Basically to my website, it has stuff linked to my website, it has stuff linked to my YouTube, it has everything that you would need, and then if you have anything... Oh, about the DMs, yes. If you DM me, I will be honest, I get a lot of DMs, and most of them are not anything related to anatomy and physiology. Most people are sending me links to random videos, so if you send me a DM, I may miss it. And I apologize, but my email is there, and I always answer my emails. So, DM if you have DM me in the past, I apologize if I didn't answer. That's mainly why. Where do I get these questions? I will have a way for everybody to download these questions super easily soon on my website. The question I have a bunch of practice tests, and it's hard to organize which ones people want because I go live and I do different topics every day. But there's going to be a way to do it on my website soon, and that'll be all over my TikTok, and I will mention a bunch in my live whenever that is a thing. So definitely just stick around for that. But I do appreciate everybody liking the live and participating and everything. I hope this is helpful for everybody. Yeah, I just appreciate you guys a lot. You guys make this very fun. I love you guys. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, you guys make this so fun. But again, I think it was Catherine had that question. It went down a little bit. Kathleen, are you still? When is the next live? It'll be tomorrow. It should be at 11:30. It'll start somewhere between 11:30 a.m. and noon, most likely. Katie. Okay, it's Katie. I know. I think Kathleen asked the question about the studying, but I'll go over that here now. How I study for. Is it just for anatomy and physiology you wanted to know? Kathleen, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. The next live tomorrow sometime will be 11:30 to noon starting time. And then it'll go live for about an hour and a half, like an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours. Normally no shorter than an hour, but no longer than 2 hours. If that answers the question. Eastern Standard Time, by the way. But was it more so for anatomy and physiology? How you wanted to know how to study? Or was it for just in general? Or was there a specific thing you wanted me to answer about that? I do appreciate the follows, guys. Thank you guys so much. What topic will I do? Not sure. I probably might do, just because so many people have been going over so many different things, I might just keep doing kind of a general A&P thing. So probably every topic I read and try, but it doesn't really stick how I want to. Okay, so I'll talk about anatomy and physiology in general. So anatomy and physiology are kind of separate here in a way. I did have a video quite a while back on like how to read textbooks and whatnot. It's down there somewhere, pretty far. It is away. I might need to make a new video on it. But for anatomy is essentially what and where things are. In terms of what things are, I think that flashcards are definitely a way to go. I don't think you should go like, windows to the walls with flashcards, because I think eventually there kind of comes to a point where you kind of just memorize the flashcard, not necessarily the topic or the thing that you're memorizing. So in terms of terms, I think flashcards are the way to go. So what something is, like definitions, flashcards. You can use Quizlet, Anki. I liked real flashcards just because you can organize them a little better. Like I would, if you go on my profile on TikTok, I have a video a little farther down about how I use flashcards. But essentially, I had a pile that I was actively going over. If I got one right, I would put it off to the side. If I got one wrong, I would put it off to the side. I would put it in a wrong pile, and I would go through. And then after them, I would put all the wrong ones. I would go through the right ones. What do I think of the whiteboard method? Depends how you use it. I think just rewriting things over and over again, that's just so pointless. That's not helpful at all. But I think the whiteboard method is perfect if you're trying to explain something out loud. Like if this, for example, is my whiteboard. So we talked about parathyroid hormone earlier. So whiteboard method is great for when you are trying to explain things. So let's go over parathyroid hormone. So we detect low blood calcium levels. Low blood calcium levels. So what happens is that causes our parathyroid to release parathyroid hormone. Parathyroid hormone is going to increase our osteoclast activity. Also calcium reabsorption. And then by this, you get more blood calcium back in, so you increase your blood calcium. So I think the whiteboard method is effective in terms of that. Using it to explain things out loud, not just rewriting things. Never rewrite things. Don't reread. My philosophy when it comes to studying, that is, if you are looking at the material, you're not studying. You just aren't. If you are looking away from the material and trying to explain it and answer questions, that's how you know if you know something. Anybody can read, anybody can rewrite, but not everybody can retain information and recall information. That's where these methods come in. So again, we were going over anatomy, what something is, definitions, flashcards, where stuff is, practice labeling. Take every picture you can start with your lecture. That's where you want to start first. Lectures, models from class, textbook diagrams, take pictures of them. Is it possible to go over nervous tissue next time? Yes. So whiteboard theory. Some people just normally rewrite everything with the whiteboard. I think, again, we'll kind of get into what I think for the whiteboard, how a whiteboard should be used. So practice labeling. So take all the pictures from your lectures, your textbooks, your models, and take pictures of them, cover up the label, and practice labeling it. You should be able to point out. A great example of it is in your house. If you walk around, you can point to stuff in your house and you're like, oh, that's this. And, that's my door, and that's my stove, and that's my fridge. That's kind of what it should be like when it comes to, oh, that's my femur. Oh, that's my humerus. Oh, that's my temporal bone. And then physiology is the how. Physiology is the how. So if you were to say, how does something work? How do you turn on the stove? You would explain that you go to the stove, and then you take the knob, and then you turn it on. That's essentially what physiology is. It's how something works. So I prefer to force my cats to listen to me. Yes, yes, Kenzie, perfect. Yes, that is the perfect way to study, Kenzie. So you want to explain how to do something. So think about the cardiovascular system. That the function is to pump blood throughout the rest of the body. Yes, we'll go over the physiology. So how does the blood get pumped throughout the body? So again, we have how something works. So when you're going through it, when you're reading your textbook or you're going through your lecture slides, you're looking at how is what I'm reading contributing to how something is working, how something works. Again, and then there's also how does it not work? How doesn't it work? And then there's what causes it not to work? What causes it not to work? How something works, there's structures. So what structures contributes to it? So basically that kind of goes over what our functional units are. So like our neuron or our cardiocyte, stuff like that. Processes that allows it to work. And you would always explain out loud. And what does it work with? Yes, what does it work with? But again, what causes it not to work? And then again, what is the result? What happens if it doesn't work? And this is our pathology. So structures and processes that contribute to how something works, and this is the function. So our function. You want to explain this out loud, kind of like what I just did with the parathyroid hormone. That's essentially what I think you should use whiteboards for. Is you should be explaining things out loud, and if you can explain it and like teach it to somebody, just like Kenzie does with her cats and teaching it to our cats, or a stuffed animal. I had a great study partner for anatomy and physiology, but when I didn't have him, I had a stuffed shark, Sharky. I would explain it to my stuffed animal shark. That's typically how I go about studying, though. But when it comes to just what and where things are, flashcards, labeling, how something works, I practice explaining it out loud like I'm teaching a class. And then when it comes to chemistry or math, I personally think that a lot of people watch organic chemistry tutor and they go to class and your professor will do practice problems. I think it's pointless. I think it's great to watch one or two just to kind of know what to do. Yes, Nurse Mike is great. Yeah, I like that guy. And Ninja Nerd. Ninja Nerd is also a great guy. I used to watch his videos all the time. I'm trying to make videos myself on YouTube as well, more so. But anyway. But yeah, I'll put him in here. He's awesome. I think he's a physician's assistant. But I'm trying to make content as well. So hopefully people can be like, oh yeah, Ollie's great for YouTube and stuff, explaining things. It'll make it a little more organized. But when it comes to chemistry, math problems, things like that, I think that you should just do the practice problems. Go through your book. Go Half Done Life. What about pharmacology? Pharmacology, flashcards for sure. Yeah, basically all flashcards. And then the mechanism of action, explain. So explain the mechanism of action, flashcard for anything else, like the name, the brand, what type it is, its indications, what code do I give out for a discount? It's on discount. It's discounted right now. I think everything is 10% right now. But if I do give out a code, I will put it in a video. It'll be in a video. I don't have a code right now though. They were on sale. I had a code a couple of weeks ago, I think. I think it actually ended yesterday, honestly. I think it was up for a week. But it was an extra, it was 15% or something. But practice the questions. Honestly, if you have a textbook, I think it's worth it to get a textbook. That is definitely the class that is most worth getting a textbook for. Mainly because it will explain to you exactly how to do things, and it goes through the natural progression of the questions. How much time do I think is healthy to commit to studying? Honestly, as long as it takes. That's the best answer. But in reality, I think a healthy amount. They always say, like, if you have a 3-credit class, you should spend double the amount of hours. So if you have a 3-credit class, you should spend 6 hours studying. How much I studied, I would always spend like 20 to 30 minutes, and I would preview lectures before class. And then during class, I would pay attention. And then after class, I would spend about an hour or two making notes. That's typically how long it took me to make notes for class. So I guess at that point, we're talking about like 2.5 hours for one class and per day. And then the weekend, I would study like in the morning on Saturdays. And then Sunday, I typically studied like all day. Oh, I'm not. I have a master's degree. So I do tutor and I teach nursing students, though. My MP class is 5 credits. Oh my gosh. Yeah, mine was 4. My class was 4. So it's recommended that you would spend about 8 hours a week. Which I think is pretty doable. But I always had AMP class, so it would be 10 hours of success. Yeah. So if I had here, let's go through another example real quick. I have lab. And this is how I had lab on Mondays. I had lecture. Ooh, that's not how you spell Monday. And then I had lecture on Tuesday, Thursday. So Monday, I would obviously I had my lab exam every week, but I would spend 20 to 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. Then you have lab, and about an hour or two after lab, I would spend 1 to 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours. So this ends up being like 2.5, 2.5. This is in excess, so 2.5. So this is about 7.5 hours a week. I studied for anatomy and physiology during the week. On the weekend, kind of depended. I would probably study about Fridays. I never studied on Fridays. I'll be real with you. It was very rarely I would study on a Friday. And then I would say like 2 to 3 hours on like a Saturday or Sunday for a class. On the higher end. 3 hours mostly if there was an exam. So, about 10 to 12 hours a week for anatomy and physiology. And then my other classes kind of depended. They normally never, some classes did, some classes didn't. So maybe 10 to 12 hours, sometimes 14 if there was a test that week. If there was a test that week, it was more so on the 14-hour end. Any thoughts on taking Chemistry 101 online? Depends if you're responsible, then yeah. I don't want high school chem. You def can't. Yeah, I would say you definitely can. I think if you're disciplined, depends on like what is in chemistry. I took Gen Chem in person. I personally think that my class time was a waste, but to each their own. I think it's more valuable to go through your textbook and go through problems like, your textbook always starts with easier to harder questions, and there's obviously like so many more questions that you can do and stuff. So, but when it comes to like chemistry, math questions, any sort of math, practice questions from the textbook. Get a textbook for those classes. I think they're worth it. You can rent them. I rented mine. That's essentially how I study. That's about how much I study, kind of how I study, flashcards for what things are, practice labeling, physiology, stuff like how stuff works I explain out loud. Definitely things like that. But that's about all I had. I do have to get going. I do appreciate you guys joining. Were there any other like quick questions here before I get going? Okay, cool. Thanks for your input. Yeah, I definitely think you can. Chemistry 101 for sure. I think general chemistry, like more math-based. If it's more math-based and lab-based, how many hours do I spend on math? Again, that kind of depends. I would say that normally, as long as it took me to do my homework, I don't know. That's a hard question to answer, to be honest. It kind of depends. I would say I don't like doing math. I'm good at math, don't get me wrong, but I hate math. I hate math. So I will try to spend as least amount of hours as possible on math, for sure. But yeah, I don't like math. I spend as little amount as possible on that. But were there any other quick questions here before I get going? Did that help answer the question on how I study? Was that helpful at all? Or were there any other questions about how I study? Sent an email. Awesome. Thank you for sending me an email. I will get to that. By the end of the day, I will get to your email if you send me one. Any other quick questions before I get going? So the... Oh boy. I saw your email, Celeste. Are you still here, by the way? I can answer your question here if you the person that just sent an email about all the topics. All the topics. If you go to the bundles have all the chapters that are included, and then all the topics on there are listed on the individual chapters, so they're already all listed in there. So if you go to if you go to do the introduction, it'll tell you everything that's in there. Or if you go to the circulatory system or heart, it'll tell you all the topics on there. And then the bundle has what chapters are included, if that makes sense. So they're already all on there. Does that make sense? And then I think, what was the other thing? My muscular system and then my special senses and joints will be up soon. I don't have all AMP1 up yet, but all my AMP2 is up. Awesome. Yes. Thank you as well. Thank you so much. Any other quick questions here, real quick, before I go? I am going to get going here, but hopefully this was helpful. But if not, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all hopefully tomorrow on the live. But again, thank you guys so much for following and participating and liking the live and sharing the live and commenting and stuff. While I go over biology, yeah, I can go over some biology topics. Definitely send me an email, and my email is up here. But alrighty, guys, I'm gonna get going. You guys have a great rest of your day.